It is my great honor to announce that George Floyd's family, our legal team, and the city of Minneapolis and its leaders have settled the civil lawsuit in the death of George Floyd. The settlement is not just historic because of the $27 million paid out, but for the impact on social justice, policy reforms, and police reforms, because the financial compensation most directly impact George Floyd and his family, the future of their family. But it is the policy reforms that affects all of us. And many would say that's why the George Floyd Act, whether it's here in Minneapolis, Mayor Frey, or the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, Councilman Ellison, that is being contemplated in Washington, D.C., it impacts all of us, all of us. And that's why this is so historic and significant.
We are a big family. I'm gonna miss my brother. The world, he has made a movement, and everybody is standing with us in solidarity. And I want to be able to thank all the supporters, all the protesters for standing, especially during a pandemic where you didn't have to.
Yes.
You put your lives on the line. Yes. There's nothing I can do to be able to repay you for that, because you showed who you are and who you were at that time. So, one thing that the world needs to know, America, we need to heal. This nation needs healing. Our family needs healing. I thank the state of Minnesota for getting this settlement taken care of. But even though my brother is not here, he's here with me in my heart. Because if I could get him back, I will give all of this back.
In this historic agreement, the largest pretrial settlement in a police civil rights wrongful death case in U.S. history, makes a statement that George Floyd deserved better than what we witnessed on May 25th, 2020. That George Floyd's life matters, and by extension, Black Lives Matter. It sends a message that the unjust taking of Black life will no longer be written off as trivial, unimportant, or unworthy of consequences. So, the family of George Floyd and our legal team are very grateful to Mayor Frey and the City Council for not just saying you care about George Floyd, but showing that you care about George Floyd. Not just saying that Black Lives Matter, but showing to the world that Black Lives Matter. And we are very grateful, and we applaud you for this great step of showing the world responsible leadership.
When there's a city council or a mayor deciding, oh, should we get rid of no-knock warrants? Should we get rid of chokeholds? Do we want to change these policies? They have 27 million reasons now why they should. And that will make decisions happen. That will make accountability happen. Because yes, it's sad seeing a video of a man being tortured and murdered, but it's worse having to write a check to take care of something that should have been prevented in other cities.
A centuries in the making reckoning around racial justice struck Minneapolis like a thunderbolt. And that strike reverberated across the entire globe as we all stood and watched as George Floyd was killed. Every Minneapolis resident, every American remembers where they were when they first saw it. When they first were forced to process the incomprehensible, recognizing our historic shortcomings and what we need to do to improve going forward. There are certain events like that in world history that seem to suspend time, where the world stopped, and those moments tend to stick with us. And our Black community has endured deep and compounding trauma over this last year, none perhaps more acutely than George Floyd's family standing with me right now. And so today's settlement reflects our shared commitment to advancing racial justice, our sustained push for progress, our commitment to Minneapolis, and our commitment and compassion to one another. We need to be unrelenting. We need to be unapologetic in our pursuit of a more equitable local government and a more just approach to community safety in our city, and we will